Now, over the last decade, rather, the fashion business in Nigeria has grown exponentially, with more Nigerian designers participating in fashion shows in New York, London, and even South Africa. CNBC Africa's Oluwatosin Olasayinde discusses the growth of the industry and its challenges with Lisa Folawiyo, the CEO of Joyoba Lisa. Take a look.
In Nigeria, the fashion industry is a growing industry, and we know that in other parts of the world, we know the big fashion cities, and we know that the fashion industries in these countries add to the whole economy of the nation. I think that the fashion industry is worth billions and billions of dollars, and I think that in Nigeria, this is what we're hoping that the fashion industry will do. We're still in our, call it, baby stages. We're still developing in terms of even quality, production, but I think that more attention is being paid. I think that not only are we developing, but what the fashion industry is doing is also growing employment. I think that it's also giving people a vehicle to express themselves, and this is good because it's empowerment, and I think for any nation, empowerment is key. So hopefully, as time goes and as more attention is being paid and as skill is being developed and as quality stuff is being brought forth by designers, I think that we will definitely have a lot to say with the total economy of the nation.
Great. Speaking about the economy of the nation, what do you think can be done with regards to human capacity? For instance, for your business, do you struggle to find the people with the right set of skills? Because everybody keeps talking about the high unemployment rate. What is your opinion?
Indeed, I will, within the fashion industry as a designer, one of the major challenges that we're faced with is getting proper staff. And this is to do with our machinists, our tailors, skilled labor, because tailors, for instance, are notorious for just their incompetence and their irregularity and their sometimes lack of passion for what they're doing. However, I do think that we also, as Nigerians, and anyone who is an entrepreneur or in any business or any industry, will I call it, running any business, I think we have the responsibility to empower our staff. I keep on talking about the word empowerment because I think that's what builds a nation at the end of the day. So, like in Nigeria, for instance, where we have these challenges with manpower, I know that some designers have opted to hire staff or workers from outside, foreign workers. I know some design houses that maybe have Chinese foreign workers because you can't blame them sometimes. They're tired of the incompetence, ineffectiveness of those that we have here. But I don't subscribe to that. As opposed to that, I believe that we have to keep on building, empowering, and developing skill of our own staff. And I think this is what will then override this challenge that we are constantly bogged down with. Dare I use the word plagued with, as at now in Nigeria, especially within the fashion industry.
As a small to medium enterprise, what is the ease of accessing finance?
I am self-funded and it is working for me now, but I am very much open to investors, both local and foreign investors. I think that there comes a time, and I think that kind of is happening right now, when the business is getting much bigger than yourself, and do you then have the financial capacity to carry it on your own? I think that for me, I definitely would consider seeking loans. At the moment in Nigeria, I do know that these people, the investors, maybe are not as forthcoming, because I think because the fashion industry is a growing one, eyes are still watching. I mean, I'm sure investors ask the questions: is this a viable business? Is it sustainable? What will be my returns? Am I, these are the questions that will be asked, and I think that I cannot blame, likely investors to watch and see what then is this fashion industry bringing to the economy. Is it worth my while? And also, as a designer, I have to contend with the fact that you know, an investor might decide that they want 50% of my business. Am I ready to relinquish that? Am I ready to say, okay, you own majority shares in my business and I just maybe carry the name and give the designs? Am I ready for that? But I will never say no. I think that we must all be open, especially if you want your business to grow, and especially if that is maybe the only means by which it can. I think that we all should be open to investors, and hopefully investors too will begin to believe in the industry.
What do you think is the role of the government to drive the fashion industry in Nigeria?
Designers, what we are challenged with, I mentioned earlier, our staff, you know, the competence of our staff, their expertise, but another thing is production. It's been able to, you know, because local production is always smaller numbers because the capacity at which we're working. But someone like myself, who is now an international brand, an international designer, I do get demand from outside of the country, and these are bigger numbers. And you know, at some points you have to outsource even production to be able to meet up with those numbers. So what the government can do in Nigeria is to help with production factories. That would just be amazing. And also training staff. You know, we do have people who train tailors, but how good are these trainers? And if they can really invest and get high-skilled people who are experts in their field, and in this regard, in terms of design, pattern cutting, machine working your machines, the tailors, that would just solve, you know, most of the problems that are being faced by the designers today in Nigeria.